Hi, my name is Chantil, and I'm a jazz pianist, singer, songwriter, composer, and producer based here in Denver, Colorado. My cultural heritage, I'm very proud of my mom's native roots in the Tsimshian and Sugpiaq tribes in Alaska. And on my dad's side, I'm German-Irish, so I'm an all-American mutt. There's a lot of Indigenous artists doing amazing things. It's something I've definitely become passionate about through working with artists that are really embodying that. Like Yatsin, he's a Tlingit performer I'm actually going to be playing with, sitting in with at Mission Ballroom in a couple weeks. And Julia Keefe, Indigenous Big Band, doing huge things. Delbert Anderson also. There's a lot of Native. Stella Standing Bear is doing really cool stuff right now. As far as representation, I do see that the bigger art venues and the higher class of like arts entertainment tier does a stronger job of creating diversity and equity. If people don't have a solidified program of, hey, we're trying to have, Black, African American, and Indigenous artists be 30% of our roster. If they don't have goals like that, it's hard to they might just see your email, go to the next one because maybe they are not used to booking women. And that happens a lot more than you would think. I think the Impressionist period of any period has such a strong cohesion between the visual art and the music. The music literally sounds like what the visual art looked like at that time. So I think it's an easy comparison to draw. And I just love the way they creatively used chords and went in between different scales and modes in a more fluid way. When I was younger, I was just so inspired by Ravel. I would sit there with my little CD player in bed, and I would listen to it almost every night. I think it's because of the use of chords and how the different chords were being placed in juxtaposition to each other. They were using things in really novel ways, and I would say that they were definitely experimenting, and I think a lot of great art is created out of not being attached to the outcome and just kind of seeing what happens, like not being so perfectionist that you never release your next track because it's never done yet. That's, I think, a trap a lot of artists fall into, myself included. And I've actively worked to disengage from that kind of approach. I like Nat King Cole because he's laid back. I feel like a lot of jazz, I call it spaz jazz. Like it can be kind of like overly cerebral. And Nat King Cole is someone I see that really played for the people. And he was just a chill guy. He was also a killing pianist. A lot of people don't know he was a piano player. And he just had a charisma, the way he held himself in a dignified way. I think he was one of the first African-American people to be on certain television shows, and he really kind of broke a lot of barriers. And he just had that beautiful smile and laid-back attitude that I really admire. Honestly, Marilyn Monroe is a big influence for me. I think about her often because she's someone who had to exist in this gender archetype that women are cast into, and she kind of owned it, but she had her own inner life beyond that where she was really into reading. And she has a great quote that's, I wish brilliant women had the confidence of mediocre men. And I do think that a lot of women creators struggle with a lot of self-doubt. And so I kind of sometimes use her as an inspiration just to be more confident because she was a very confident person. Being in Miami for many years and being able to watch all the Cuban and Afro-Caribbean pianists play the piano as a percussion instrument, which it is, really opened up my sense of time feel and the way I approach the instrument. I think a lot of pianists get caught up in the flourishes and the melodies and the lines and the chord, the harmony. But rhythm is such a huge component of music. I think it's easy for pianists to overlook that unless they've been submersed in a culture like the Afro-Caribbean that is so deeply rhythmic. I actually love improvising. I mean, sitting at a piano and just playing whatever comes to mind is just the best feeling in the world. And then I realized, I was like, why don't I just share this? Like, because I never do. So I thought that's something I wanted to explore more. In the words of Duke Ellington, it's in the world of dreams. I'm dreaming when I'm at a piano. There's not a lot of, thank God I did all my practicing when I was younger so that I can actually truly sit at a piano and just play whatever comes to my mind and just let the fingers do the talking. It's kind of, you enter like what people call the flow state and you just float around and let whatever happens, and it's such a beautiful, surreal feeling, especially when you're really submersed in the moment and it's like time disappears and you're just in such a present state of mind, and that's really hard to get anywhere else. Most of the stories that I derive from are from my own personal experience. Most of them are from loss or heartbreak, unfortunately. Some of them from joy and being extremely happy. But exploring the complexities of life and humanity that people sometimes like to avoid, I really find the crux of great art to be in the cracks in between, like, what really is love, and like, can we dissect it and like analyze and look at these little components. I'm writing lyrics about my life and writing the music, so there's something about writing a song about the deepest emotional struggles you're going through and then continually sharing that with people over time. It's an emotionally deep and sometimes devastating place to live where you're constantly sharing the deepest parts of you, like your biggest struggles. It's hard. There are certain songs that I rarely perform because they're so emotionally close to like my sore spots in my heart. Like Save Me From Myself from the Lady and the Champ album is one that I don't perform very often because it hurts too much. But if I'm feeling really strong, then I'll do it, but I can only do it sometimes. So Chantron, she's kind of like my animus, where I created Chantron to do the things that I was afraid to do. So, and then I was writing stories about her. Eventually I want to have a series. It's like I wanted to have a song with an image and a story that go together in like a trifecta. Is like a different formatting of how to present art or music, like there's a storyline to go along with it. But Chantron is a brave little character that does things that Chantal is afraid to do. Like, I also created it because it's the first album I ever produced, mixed, and mastered myself, and that I was really scared to do that because I identify more as a pianist, a songwriter, and a singer. So to put the producer hat on, and to own that, and that was pretty intimidating for me. So I think I put Chantron there to be like, this is Chantron, not me. I feel like I'm most creative when I have time at home to like cook, self-care, write a song, produce a song, go on a bike ride, that kind of like, simple life, I think, has beauty and more empty space for creativity. I have noticed as I'm older that I choose players based on how they interact and make me feel on stage, because there's a lot of great players, but people who have human moments and like share emotional connections and look at you on stage. And I would say to stay true to your writing and your own unique view and vision, but to definitely tell a story. I mean, you know, AI, we've got all these music creating engines on our tails, and what they can't do is tell a story about their life. So that's what we've got going for us.